Hello and welcome to the Irish Arsenal GOONER podcast. It's Tuesday, the 15th of February. I'm your host, as always, Jonathan Giles. I'm joined by my regular guests, as always, Eamonn Donnelly, Johnny Sparks Media, and Martin Hasenhuttel Stumble. How are you, lads?
Good.
Not too bad, not too bad. Good evening.
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, John. Evening, Ralph. Martin there.
As always, you can catch our show on the usual platforms, SoundCloud, Spotify, and on the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club YouTube channel as well. Leave any comments there, what you like or dislike about the show, and much is appreciated. On this week's show, we'll be reviewing our 1-0 away success last Thursday to Wolves. We'll also be previewing this Saturday's Brentford game at home, which Eamonn will be heading to. And also, always at the end of our show, we'll be going through our loan watch feature and anything else Arsenal related. So over the next half hour or so, I hope you enjoy the show as always. So we kick on with last Thursday's 1-0 away win against Wolves. The winning goal was scored by a man of the match performance, in my opinion, by centre back Gabriel. The other main talking points, of course, was Gabriel Martinelli's 2 yellow cards within a few seconds. Stupidity on his part, but just frustration, really. I think if it was really being honest, I think maybe 1 yellow card. I've never really seen that happen so quickly, given 2 yellows within a short space of time. But thankfully we didn't pay a heavy cost for that. Ramsdale had another good game as well. He made 3 good saves soon after that red card, and lacazette missed a sitter. He caught barely wide of the post, which could have made it 2-0. After Spurs losing 2-0 to Wolves at the weekend, I think winning 1-0 away to Manu was a good result in the end, and it keeps us nicely in there for the Champions League spot. So I'll go to Eamonn. What was your take on last Thursday's match?
Well, first of all, it was a terrific win, and that game was all about winning, right? Secondly, we were in control of the game until the sending off, right? They weren't hurting us. They got in around the back of us only once. And I thought that Xhaka and Partey managed their yellow cards very well. Given that they were both yellow carded, in the first half, they managed to still exert control in the middle of the pitch without doing anything rash until the sending off. And the sending off changed everything. I think we would have won that game relatively comfortably without the sending off. Then let me come to the sending off for a second, right? You referenced at the start there, Jonathan, that Martinelli was a bit stupid, possibly. He tried to break up an attack by not letting your man take the throw, okay? That was a yellow card. The second foul, I don't think, was a yellow card. He barged him. I mean, but aside from all of that, the way I see that is, it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. You have to really want to send the player off to do that. And I'm getting sick of it now that Arsenal, it's okay to send Arsenal players off. And I don't know how many times I've said in this show, MacArthur can kick Bukayo Saka in the air. Ben Godfrey can stand on Tomiyasu's face. I saw Luke Shaw at the weekend tugging the jersey off somebody, no yellow card. I saw Bruno Fernandes swing a punch like Richard Dunn against Muhammad Ali. He totally missed. He meant to connect. No yellow card. And it's got to the stage now where I just think there's this narrative around the Arsenal that, oh, we do stupid things and it's our own fault and it's self-inflicted. Therefore, it's because of what's gone in the past, we've almost set ourselves up as, well, we get yellows and red cards. And, I'm sick of it. And it's definitely, I think I'll do it now, will I? It's so frustrating, Deirdre. It's, it's shocking. But I think what I want to say is that hats off to Arteta. He's been criticised for his in-game management from time to time. But looking at the way we had to concede the ground, getting Rob Holding on was the right thing to do, even though it conceded control to them. But it was the right thing to do. and Holding played a heroic 20 minutes. And we saw the game home. You could see what it means to the players. One last thing I'd say is the stick we took for celebrating the win on Twitter and all this. Well, you know, it wasn't any old win. It was a win against a team that was going to overtake us in the table. It was a win in an environment when other teams are dropping points. And of course, we were happy to win. And I'd rather see our players being up for the game and celebrating like it means something than, you know, than going through the motions. And it just seems that actually, maybe instead of being frustrated the whole time, maybe there's a siege mentality being created like the old days, which mightn't be a bad thing. But it was an excellent win, and it was made even more excellent by the demolition job Wolves did to Tottenham at the weekend.
Yeah, that victory on Thursday, it leaves us sixth at the moment with 39 points, 2 points off West Ham and fourth. I'll come to Johnny. What did you make of last Thursday's performance, Johnny?
Heroic, definitely. Agree with everything that Eamonn says. I just over the last year or so, maybe year and a half, the change in Michael Oliver with us. Like, I mean, as far as I was concerned, Michael Oliver was the best referee in the league. But his change towards us, wherever it's come from, whatever happened, he's definitely doing us no favours. And he's not the only referee in the league that's doing us no favours.
Yeah.
It was really difficult game to play because obviously, as you say, the sending off it killed it for us. You know, the sending off killed it for us. So, I mean, going 5 at the back, yeah, we went 5 at the back. It was the Almo, definitely the Almo. But the one thing that I'm just delighted we got the result. But the one thing I couldn't understand was the way we allowed so many crosses to come in and put us under an awful lot of pressure. Like, there's no, like, obviously Rob Holding was heroic, slotted in well with Ben and Gabriel. But the amount of clearing with the head they had to do because the crosses were coming in was like, at times it was ridiculous. But look, we weathered the storm, we got it through. I think we were in control of the game before the sending off, 100%. I think, you know, I think it's just proven now with the chance that Lacazette missed, because if they had have equalised, all I could think about was Everton away when Iwobi missed that sitter.
Yeah.
To basically win the game, and I thought this is not going to happen again. I think Lacazette was probably the happiest man on the pitch at the end of the game because he really should have scored that. But it just emphasises, I think, you know, we need a couple of good strikers, big time, you know, and that. But look, the thing that disappointed, but the thing that made me laugh and sort of disappointed me in a bit was when they said to Arteta after the game, you know, he basically said he can't. I've done everything to stop these red cards. Now, in fairness, he obviously has to talk to the players and say to the players, look, you've got to be a bit more, you know, intelligent, a bit more clever, you know. I don't think he can tell. He could probably speak to Xhaka and Partey all day and they still wouldn't listen to him because they won't play their game. But the young people, you know, was it a foul originally on Gabriel? You know, like Eamonn says, there's been other fouls. Like, he didn't think Gabriel's barge was a yellow card. I didn't think it was either. Was he fouled? Was that why he was annoyed? Obviously he was, and he thought he was. Yeah. But the referee should have stopped the game. You know, when he stopped that throw in, the referee should have stopped the game. You know, but he didn't. But look, them 3 points are huge. Like Eamonn says, team could have overtaken us. We were away. We've got to back it up now this Saturday and this Thursday. We've got to back them up. 2 home games. Big 6 points. Big 6 points. And not badly needed, you know. Because if we get these 2 wins against Brentford and against Wolves at home, leaves us in a great position. Great position.
Yeah, 100%, Johnny. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think as well, 11 clean sheets over the course of the season isn't too shabby as well. You know, I thought Ramsdale had another good game when he was called on again.
Our back 5 has been the real reason this year. You know, that back 5, our starting back 5 it's very, very strong. Very strong. Yeah. And it can only get stronger the more they play together. You know, hopefully Tommy Ashley is back. You know, but Ramsdale has been a revelation. I think he's helped the back 4. because he never stops. You have to be at the games. One of my Eamonn tell you, Eamon's always behind the North Bank, and you just see him and hear him all the time when you're behind his goal. He never stops. Sure, he doesn't, Eamonn?
Absolutely.
Never stops.
Yeah,
The difference in him, the difference in him is, anybody that's played football, decent goalkeeper, yourself.
Yeah.
It's half the battle. If that cross is coming out into the box and it's over your head, if you know that he's going to be behind you, it's a great help. Great help.
Yeah. Martin, what did you make of the match last, Horsey?
Yeah, look, it's 3 points we won, which is very great. But it's bad that we have to talk about the referees every single game, innit? It's just like, you nearly have to put a feature in now, like, do the referee test and actually check who you're playing because you don't know what you're doing. It's just like, it's absolutely ridiculous, like, and yeah, something has to be done about it. And we do have a reputation. It's like we're coming out of Mountjoy, like when you walk down the street, everybody knows you, and that's why we're getting them red cards. Because as Eamonn said, there's so many other fouls you look at them, they're just not being refereed as in Arsenal. If Saka would do that, it's a straight red, and it's just madness, and the one good thing is we get actually to know how to play with 10 man, so we're actually quite good at it now, so we don't concede goals. But yeah, like it's just it can't go on like that. And I don't know if it's Arteta what you can talk to, Partey and Xhaka, and again them two boys had 2 yellow cards again, and they had to maintain it, not because I was thinking, okay, here we go again, one of them is going to be sent off, and then Martinelli comes along and gets sent off. So it's tough, like when you have to play with 10 players. We got through it, but I don't think that Arteta can do anything about it. It's really like, it looks like the referees are out to get us and send people off. I don't know if this is a thing, but it's just really weird that they don't have to come out and actually explain it. Why is it happening? And this is what I'm liking in rugby, even with VAR. I think that's what they could make VAR much better. Just actually explain, like, why are they doing it rather than giving a decision. Review it, tell the people what it is. Everybody knows. And if they make mistakes, they have to come out as well. And it seems to be like, if you criticize a referee, and there was one fella in some league underneath it who said, like, it's the referee was that unfit, and he probably going to get like a ban probably now for staying there, so you can't say they're not gods. Like, they have to do a job the same way as like any manager do, and they should really come out and say, look, this is not correct, like, or I don't know, I never seen a card, 2 yellow cards in 5 seconds.
No,
never heard of it.
No.
I don't know if it's actually, it seems to be legal, obviously, because that's what happened, but it must be a record. But it's sad that we have to talk about, like, red cards all the time. Because the funny thing is, if you look at the statistics, we're actually not a dirty team. I think we have the least amount of fouls in the whole league, but we have the most red cards. So there's something not right. That is just kind of like what I don't understand. But look,
there's a couple of things on that, Martin, because if you heard Arteta's comments in the interview, not directly after the match, he more or less said, look, he's going to have to do something in private with the officials because this can't continue, and it can't. It just can't continue, And I thought those comments were interesting. But then the other thing that's even more frustrating, Deirdre, is they bring in that muppet Peter Walton. Well, I know they shot the man dead in the box, but I don't think it was intentional, and it's not a clear and obvious error there for the referee. Like, I mean, I'm done with listening to all that. I think I'm going to get Al Jazeera the television and listen to it in Arabic because I can't listen to that nonsense anymore. Nonsense there, Jonathan. Nonsense there, Bill.
Walton always sits on the fence, and every Saturday he gets some serious chip from
he does,
Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. It's actually better to watch stat than it is to watch final score, But the thing, me and Eamonn had a conversation about this referee thing, because we've often obviously go over to the games, but like in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s there was referees and you barely knew them, right? In the 60s you knew Jack Taylor because he did the World Cup, in the 70s you knew Clive Thomas because he was a fruitcake, in the 80s was Roger Halsey, remember, with the long hair, the long grey hair,
Roger Milford.
Milford, sorry.
Roger Milford,
and then you had, then in the 90s, then you had Howard Webb and you had Pierre Luigi.
Yeah.
Now, we know all the referees by name. Why? Because they're nearly as big as the players now for how bad they are. Why was VAR brought in? Obviously, the reason was because the referees were so bad and decisions were so bad. Like you say, you know, but the other thing as well that gets you is the lack of review on our decisions. The lack of review. Like that, they looked, how, as Eamonn said, did they look at Ben Godfrey and look at MacArthur and say, there's nothing wrong with them?
Yeah.
That's just...
The other side of it is, John, is this. So it's a bit of a double whammy for us because Martinelli now misses a game, right? And even though within the laws of the game, the referee had the right to give 2 yellow cards, you had to really want to send the player off to do it the way he did. As you said, he should have stopped the game. Martinelli tried to obstruct the throw-in being taken. He should have been whistled up, told yellow card for that. Free kick to Wolverhampton. I'd get on with the bloody game. And the other thing that is sending off does, it cheats the spectators. These cheap sending offs. Spectators go to see 11v11. That's the game, you know. But you know, every other week now, where you know somebody's getting a player sent off, and you know it's just not right. But look, at the end of the day, thankfully this one didn't hurt us, and the win in a real kind of gallows humor, Arsenal type of way, felt all the sweeter because of it. You know. Anyway, look, we move on.
That wraps. Yeah, it was. Look, a 1-0 victory away at Wolves is all. You know, considering the last few occasions, we there was a couple of defeats and thing in there, but look, the way the season has gone, we'll take it and we move on to the preview now of Saturday's upcoming game at home. It seems ages since we played at home. Against Brentford, we're playing at 3:00. This is the reverse from the opening day of the season, where we all remember the 2-0 loss at Brentford's new ground. Candace and Norgard scored the goals in that one. We just really weren't ready for that game at all, you know. Very little pre-season and just a shambles of a team compared to now. But they've won once in their last 5 matches, Brentford. They've 24 points after 25 games. They're on a slide now. And starting to touch that relegation zone. I think their most notable games really were the 3-3 home draw against Liverpool, the 3-3 against Newcastle away, and Leeds 2-2 away. And of course, Christian Eriksen could make his debut on Saturday as well by the looks of it. They're 7 points off Norwich in 18th. I can only see a victory here, lads. You know, it'd be a tie game, I think, because they do play nice stuff themselves. But I can see a 2-0 victory, in my opinion. I'll come to Eamonn again. How do you see Saturday's game going?
Well, I mean, the one thing that's, Sean will tell you this as well. The connection between the fans and the team this season is much better, right? And the team, even though it makes mistakes, is generally up for games. But if ever there was a game they should be up for, it's this one, over what happened on day one. First of all, the game should have been postponed, as we found out later in the season. That's the first thing. The second thing is the 2 goals they got shouldn't have counted, because the first one was beyond the byline when Callum Chambers cleared it, and VAR never even looked at it. The second one, they almost got Baird Leno and put him into a grave and nailed him down to the ground, and while the throw-in was coming in. But most importantly, they beat us up that night. They beat us up that night, right? And we weren't physically at it because of COVID and all that, but they beat us up. And then we had to listen to all this Jamie Carragher nonsense. Isn't it the new circus? Isn't it great fun, the Premier League? Well, I didn't find it anyway funny that particular day. So I just think that this is a game that we should be really up for. We should be up for all games, but this one in particular, to right what was wrong in the first game of the season. And as for their manager with his Adam Clayton heading him and his fluffy head, we want to get that fluffy head and you know, make him go home with his head between his legs. And I expect the Arsenal to really get at Brentford in a way they went at Aston Villa that time. Sean, I think you were at the game as well.
Best performance of the season, I thought.
Best performance, but they really went at them, you know, and that's what I expect from the Arsenal on Saturday. I'm looking forward to going, and I never say I would like to think that it would be something to the tune of a 2-0 or a 3-1 victory. With a noisy crowd. I know the crowd will be noisy on Saturday, you know.
Yeah.
See, I think the other thing as well is, you know, I do worry a little bit. Martinelli now is obviously not playing, but I do worry a little bit where the goals are going to come from. I don't know whether we're going to see many 3 or 4s this year for the rest of the season. I mean, our main striker the last 4 years is gone. Okay, good luck to him, whatever. But I just think we don't, apart from Smith Rowe and Saka, none of our other midfielders have scored or even look like they score. We're dependent on Lacazette. Lacazette will probably do his usual 70 minutes. Then Nketiah will come on, and he doesn't look as though he's interested at all. I mean, the last in the corner against Wolves the other night, and we're all on the defibrillators there, struggling to hold it, keep alive, watching the game, and he just back passes the ball to the goalkeeper to start another attack from them. You know, so only for Aubameyang went, I think Nketiah would have been gone because he just looks as though he's not interested. Again, as I say to you, Lacazette, hopefully that doesn't stick into his mind. It'd be nice for him to get something early in the game that could kick us on. We get an early goal, will kick us on. I've been at a lot of the games this year. I'm going again on Saturday. Norwich at home, Watford at home, 2 average teams, and we really struggled to put them away. 2 1-0s, you know, and then we do 3 against Tottenham and 3 against Aston Villa. But again, we're a full centre forward, as in Aubameyang was playing. But look, I'm just worried about goals. I don't mean to be negative, but I do worry about goals.
Yeah.
You know, because if Lacazette doesn't score them or Martinelli doesn't score them, you're not going to get them from Xhaka and Party. In fairness to them, they do other work. You know,
you get them from Smith Rowe, though, John.
Obviously when Smith Rowe starts.
Oh, but he will start with Martinelli out of the team. He will start. You know,
you have to start. Yeah, you have to start.
Pepe off the bench, maybe as well.
Pepe off the bench. Pepe has a reputation for finishing the season very strong. You know,
the last couple of seasons, that's right.
I think there's something up there with Pepe. I think he might be gone in the summer.
Yeah,
he will be gone in the summer, but he has a chance to put himself in the shop window.
A good price for him, yeah. You can only see a victory, really, lads, because Brentford, Eamonn said it a few weeks ago on the show, they are on a slide now. You know, they're on a dangerous slide down the table now. And it was always probably going to happen, you know. They didn't really invest in Premier League.
Before Martin comes in, could I just address that point about Pepe and Nketiah and the difference? You see, I think Pepe will finish the season strong because he needs to either be a star at Arsenal or get a good move. And because of the cost he was, you know, we're going to look for money for him. So he needs to do well between now and the rest of the season. And Nketiah is gone for free.
Yeah.
You know,
and it looks like Lacazette could be Leon bound as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Martin, how do you see Saturday's game going?
Yeah, look, we hope as you look at the table now, we're obviously looking at a clear win. That's what we all hope. That's what it is. But football, it never comes like that. So, but I think we should be motivated for it because the first game, we didn't perform. We shouldn't even have played. It was the first game of the season. Sky would have never cancelled that. So that was the reason for that. But I think if you look at the first game and we look where we are now, we're a complete different team. So we should be, and I said that before, I think on one of the shows, like we can beat any team. It's just depending what Arsenal team is turning up. So there's no team out there which we can't beat. But sometimes like the Norwich game, the Watford game, I was at the Watford game. Same team basically, but we just didn't play the football. And you don't understand why they're struggling. It's going to be interesting who is going to play now. Like, my biggest problem is with making Lacazette captain. That means he has to play. So, it doesn't perform. He might be a good leader in the team, like in the young fellas look up after him, but he just doesn't finish. And we've seen it in the game against Wolves. Martinelli was pumping out like thing. There was nobody following him. Lacazette should be up there in front and be helping him, like to score, but he just never did. So I don't know like what's gonna happen. I mean, Lacazette probably gonna start. Smith Rowe's gonna come in, Saka on the right, Odegaard in the back. But I would love to see Pepe. I would love to see what he can do. But it's just really, really hard. Like to think, maybe put Pepe on the left. I don't know. Put somebody else. Don't play a 9 at all. I don't know. But look, it is what it is. Martinelli's not playing. He has to bring someone in. The obvious reason is going to be Odegaard and Smith Rowe and Saka and Lacazette through the middle. But I think we have a chance to do well. As I said, the back four. Tomiyasu is back in training, so he should be back. Ramsdale, as John said, a revelation this year. He changed the back four. Leno's a good goal stopper, but he just doesn't have the command for the back four. And I think that's what really changed him. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. Eriksen, I don't know if he's going to come on. He had a test match during the week. Look, I hope he doesn't come on. He might be carried off again if he plays against us, with heart. Like, you never know. But yeah, like I don't think it's going to be a deciding factor. He just didn't play enough football. Tony is out. He's not playing. So that will help us for sure. But look, they're not scoring many goals. There's not that much threat there from them. They were lucky against Crystal Palace that they didn't concede. And yeah, I hope it is a good game. The crowd is definitely up for it. I mean, I've seen so many forums where, like they're all going to go mad for it. It's even hard to get tickets for them now these days. So look, that's kind of a good sign, like, in some way, So yeah, I'm hoping. Look, I'm saying a 2-0, hopefully 3-0. Yeah, who's going to score the goals? But look, if you score early, like everything is possible because we have this tendency. If we score early and we just take the game, like, then we're free rolling, and that's the thing. It's just like when we don't score for 30, 40 minutes, it's really a struggle, innit? It's just like because we don't have the backup, and that's the problem. Is that who are you going to bring on? Nketiah, Pepe, yeah, and I think Pepe would have been a better option come on in against Wolves as well because he's faster. He can go, he can run back, like, he can defend. Why bring on Nketiah and bring him as a forward? We don't go forward, it's not like we don't need a striker at that stage. We need somebody who's going to be like lightning. But look, it is what it is, and let's see what's happening. But yeah, I'm going with a 2-0 on Saturday, and we need the points because, as my good friend Hasenhuttel did a good job against Spurs and United, so we have to take full advantage of that. So yeah, so we look at the chances there, hopefully, and then against Wolves on Thursday at home as well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta pulls something with his team collection on Saturday.
Yeah,
it's quite possible. It's quite possible he might rest Lacazette and start Pepe up front. He did it before.
Yeah,
it's quite possible. Maybe just to change it and with Thursday in mind, you would expect Thursday to be the bigger game. Now, obviously, after Eamonn was saying like they were a bit pissed off the way we celebrated on their ground, they're going to be well up front Thursday.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't start the strongest 11 against Brentford on Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised. Because
he does play up front for Ivory Coast, didn't he, Pepe?
Yeah. Well, so he played for us up front.
I just think, John, we're in a 16-game foot race. We've a clear vision on what the challenge is ahead. I think he'll start the strongest team for every game.
Yeah, it's week to week as well, lads. Yeah. They're literally 7 days between each game now.
Well, you see our 3 games in hand, which is going to be a really, really busy April. Probably the end of March, April.
Yeah.
You've Spurs away, you've Chelsea away, and you've Liverpool at home.
Yeah, they're 3 big ones, aren't they? Yeah. And they're horrible 3 games in hand as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why you need all your points before.
Yeah, but remember, Spurs have to go to Man City. Spurs have to go to Liverpool as well. So I mean, I don't pick the 3 games in hand as the 3 games in hand. I look at 16 games, and if we get, I've said it many times on this show, if you get 2 points per game, you're in the top 4. So that's 76 points. That's 76 points. We won the league in '98 with 76 points.
It's going to be tough, though. It is. But we're in there with a fighting chance. And at the start of the season, as we said last week and the last year, we'd never have given there would have been never any talk of fourth place, So we've come on leaps and bounds since that. So it's just great to be in there.
I mean, the importance of that win against Wolves, that was a huge win by a team.
Massive.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
They're well organised. They don't concede goals.
Yeah.
Now, just listening tonight to Sky, and they had the 4 pundits. They had Jamie Mackey. I know it doesn't matter. They had Jamie Mackey. They had Darren Bent. They had Matt Murray, and they had Lee Hendry there. And he asked them, like, looking at the table, did he say, like, if Brighton win tonight, they actually go into the top 7. That's how close it is. But he was saying, what team do you think could sneak into that 4? And 3 of them 4 lads picked Wolves.
Because I said this the last couple of weeks, They're going about their business quite quietly, Yeah. I don't think deep down, I don't think they will, but it is a good show, isn't it? Like, he hasn't very well organised. Actually, very surprised how well organised he has as a new manager coming into the Premier League, Yeah.
But he came in with a great reputation from Portugal.
Yeah, he did, in fairness, yeah. So we're all going for a home win there on Saturday, and we'll be, of course, reviewing that on next Tuesday's show. We move on to our loan watch feature. I just picked out a few players that are unknown. Father and Balogun, he played the full 90 minutes in the 4-1 win over Derby County, and he assisted a back heel for the 4th goal for Duncan Watmore. So he's coming on quite nicely there under Chris Wilder. Hector Bellerin of Betis, he picked up a yellow card, but he played the 90 minutes as well in the 4-2 win over Levante. They lie third in the Liga on 43 points. They're doing quite well this season, and they're 11 off Real at the top. So quite surprised the Betis are doing well there. Ainsley Maitland-Niles came on in a 2-2 draw against Sassuolo as a 76-minute sub. Roma lie 7th there in Serie A on 40 points, and they're 6 points off the Champions League spot. And finally, Pablo Marti of Udinese. Probably won't see him back, but he played 90 minutes in a 4-0 away defeat to Verona. They're the 4 I picked out. Johnny, who would you like out of them 4? Realistically, probably Balogun to come back. Really?
Probably Balogun.
Yeah.
I watched Maitland-Niles play for Roma the week before. He missed an absolute sitter. Tammy Abrahams put it on the play from him, and he missed an absolute sitter. I just don't think his attitude is good enough for us. Balogun, yes. Marty, no. Marty was found out against Chelsea. He's a good centre half when there's nobody around him. A bit like Starfelt of Celtic.
Yeah.
But when he's up under against the pressure, he's not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fairness to Arteta, whether he was his signing or Edu signing, they got rid of him because he wasn't cutting it,
Yeah.
The thing that I was looking at there as well was the stats that were put up today on one of our groups of Tammy Abrahams. I mean, that was really a chance that we had, and I think we let go. I think he would have been ideal for us. I really do think he would have been ideal for us. Could have been the difference between just flying away with 4th spot rather than trying to stay in there for the rest of the season. His record at the moment for Roma is excellent.
Yeah, it is. He's flying under Mourinho,
including his assists as well. He just looks to be enjoying his football. But probably Balogun. But I don't even think Balogun will come back next year. I don't think he's ready yet. Still, I think he'll probably go out again for another loan. I'd like to see him do it because he seems to have all the attributes. He's a bit of a mix between Campbell and Cole. Would you agree, Eamon?
I would. The only 2 players that I'm really watching on loan at the moment are Balogun and Saliba, because they're the 2 that are going to be playing next year. And I think Balogun, I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago, I think with the turnover of players, we're going to have to buy 2 new strikers in the summer. Yes. We're going to have 4 strikers in the squad next year, and they are going to be 2 new strikers, Balogun and this boy Beirut, right? Okay, and they probably won't get much football, right? But there's going to be 4 lads that are going to make up to 25, right? Because 25, you have to remember, you have to have homegrown players as well, right?
Yeah.
And Charlie Patino, Omari Hutchinson, Aziz, Balogun, and Beard are, to me, they're going to feature in the squad of 25 next year. And I think that's the trajectory we're on. Salabel, I think, will definitely be back. And I think Balogun will be part of the first team next year. That guy's going to be a superstar. He has all the attributes, and I think you're right. He has that cross between an aggressor and a finisher. You know, he has that. You know, I like what I see from him. You know.
Martin, what do you make out of the loan signings there at the weekend?
Yeah, I seen the Balogun goal, like, you know, it's great, you know.
Yeah,
but saying that, like, Eddie scored a goal like that in the Carabao Cup as well, you know.
So, it didn't do much for him.
You know, it depends where you play, like, you know. So no, but look, I think he has a future, like, you know, and yeah, it depends on the summer signings what we're gonna do. You know, it is gonna be a busy summer because the amount of players we have to get in, you know, like, wonder where the money comes from. Maybe the Super Bowl win on Sunday might give us a bit of a kitty, you know. So you never know.
The money's going to come from Aubameyang's wages, and the money's going to come from selling Nicolas Pepe and one or two others, right? Because like they're going to have to invest kind of 70 or 80 million plus what you save on Aubameyang, which is another 25 million plus. You'll pull in 25, 30 million for Pepe, you know.
Yeah. No, be honest, like, I mean, I think that I don't, and everybody is on about the Kroenkes, and even, like, you know, after winning the Super Bowl, like, you know, the amount of criticism they got. But I think the money is there and they're willing to expand. And I actually listened to an interview today from Josh Kroenke. He was on one of the American talk shows, and they were talking about, like, you know, all the franchises they have, like, you know, in America. And in fairness, they're not doing a bad job with them. You know, they got, like, players, you know, they bought them, you know, like the Rams, like, they went nowhere 4 years ago. They actually put the money in. Obviously, they put the stadium in. It's a phenomenal stadium. Yeah. The money is in there, you know, but they're not good in ice hockey. They're good in basketball. And he said it on the show because, and that's the funny thing, he had to explain to the audience, you know, who Pep Guardiola was, you know, who Mikel Arteta is. And you know, but that's the thing about Americans, isn't it? They don't know. But he said, look, it's a different game. You know, it's a different attitude. There's more history in the game, and they understand it. And I really believe that. And I think they don't want to have a team who doesn't perform. They want to have a winning team in the Premier League.
The interesting thing there, Martin, though, is that it's obvious now that Josh Kroenke is running the club, right? Yeah. Not Stan Kroenke, Josh is, right?
Yeah, Josh is definitely.
And then Vinay is the chief executive, right? And then Edu is the technical director, and Arteta is the manager. That's a young breed of an executive management team and a young football team. I have hope from that. That, you know,
100%. Yeah,
I would be far more concerned if we, you know, if we had a gang who were running the club at executive level, who were all in their 60s, and that's not ageist or anything like that. I just think that there's a freshness about what we're seeing, and there is, for once, there's a bit of a vision there. You see, because since we fell out of the top four, all we've been doing is like trying to climb up a paper rope. We've been just chasing that, you know, flapping away. And now we've gone away from that now. I always think that when you gut something, and it's much easier to build something that's raised to the ground than something that's half standing, you know. And I just think that we've hit our floor, and we're moving upwards. Things are not, like, I mean, they were willing to spend the money on the dreaded Vlahovic in January. That's confirmed. They were willing to spend the money. The guy didn't want to come.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what I said. Like, you know, like, Arteta didn't have to build a new club. They actually had to bulldoze it first to actually build a new club. And there was actually a good thing as well. And they were talking about the Super League, you know, like, because they were asking about the Super League. And he said, you have no idea what happened in March last year when he basically said he was in Italy, Josh. And he was talking to somebody from a football club, you know, and then he went to the Olympiacos game where 2 days later the Olympiacos coach was COVID-19. He went into Arsenal, was talking to Arteta. Arteta was COVID positive after that. He thought he gave everybody, like, he was the missing link in between. But he said then it happened, like, it was like a thing opened, like, and all the the football teams, even in America, they all suspended. Like, you know, they couldn't do, and it's if you look back like the last year and a half, never mind building up a new team, but doing it in a season where you have like, you know, COVID, like in restrictions, no spectators, nothing. It's just crazy, like to think that, you know, that you do anything. And they actually kept the club alive. You know, they put money into it. You know, like whatever they did, it wasn't an easy time, 100% sure. And the thing with the Super League is basically they were looking at every angle for it, and it just said like what actually happened with the Super League is that they had to rush it, and this is why it was completely defeated straight away, because they didn't think it through. So look, but yeah, I think they're willing to invest. They want to have a premier club, as they say, you know, like in the English Premier League. So they want to have one of the best teams in there, and I think the project is there. They have money. They are young. They will put their money in, hopefully.
Like the one thing that, and you might be able to correct me here if I'm wrong, but the one thing that seems to come to mind, because the more often you go to the game, the more you see how, you know, the stadium is not being kept.
Yeah.
And seemingly now that they're working on that, they're actually putting money.
Yeah, see that, yeah.
To get the stadium, because when you look up the road of what they have up there, it's magnificent. But we need to do, you know, something with the stadium outside and the fascias and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, but John, the kebabs on our end are better.
The which?
The kebabs.
The kebabs,
yeah.
Yeah.
The kebabs on our end.
So frustrating, dude.
Oh yeah. I go to a Turkish bloke on the Sean knows, he's been in there with me. I think I'm the only bloke. He gives me bottles of Turkish beer when I go in. You know, like, you know, after 12 points, I think I've had enough bloody beer. You know?
He doesn't have a beer license.
Yeah.
Turkish shops are great for the drink.
He doesn't have Sean, he doesn't have a machete license either, but that doesn't stop him, you know.
No, it doesn't stop him either. No,
He does. Just like to confirm as well that Matt Turner, the goalkeeper from New England Revolution, signed for us. He'll be joining us in June, so that probably signals the end of Bernd Leno at the club. Do you think we get a fee for Leno, lads, or do you think that's?
I'd have to get a fee from. Get a fee from.
Depends where he's going to play, innit?
This other guy as well, like this other centre half that we've got from the Rapids, Calipiro Rapids.
Trusty.
Yeah.
Trusty in the process.
The best I've seen was.
That's what I said last week. One is Trusty and the other's a Turner. You know.
But it was interesting to see when it came up on Instagram, the comments. There was 60 odd comments, and there was 5 comments from 5 Americans who said that we live in America, we watch the MLS, and we don't know.
Yeah.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
But that doesn't mean anything. Look, if they don't even know Guardiola, like, you know, I mean, what do they know about football?
He sounds like, do you know what he sounds like to me, Sean? Do you remember on Trading Places, the spy, Clarence Beeks, you know, getting Trusty there. I think he's a Tottenham spy or something. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Look, lads, we're moving in the right direction, I think. And we just have to give the process time, you know. At least see how we end up at the end of the season, and if it means we're back in Europe, either hopefully the Champions League, because that's where the summer will define whether you attract big players or not, you know. But look, once we get back in Europe and we can see the club going in the right direction, I think fans will be on board.
It's going in the right direction. We were probably, look, if we be realistic here, and let's be realistic, unless we get 2 wonderful strikers in the summer, 2 really, really good players. If we qualify for the Champions League, would we do ourselves justice? Would we? You know, you know, this is the other thing. You've no problem going back to Champions League and playing in the Champions League when you're ready. But you play big teams. You don't want to be annihilated. They're a young team that don't need to be annihilated.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing when we get Champions League or not. Personally, I don't know if we're quite ready for it. We're not far off, but we're not quite ready for it, I think.
The only thing, if we get Champions League, we can attract better strikers. That's the
100%.
You see, that's the other thing.
So it's a give and go, you know. Like, I mean, from the team. We're a young team, but if we can attract players, because I don't think money is the object anymore. It's really like players want to play in the Premier League, in the Champions League, and if they can't get there, they're not going to come to a club, you know.
The other side of it is, like, next season, Smith Rowe will be that bit better again. Saka will be that bit better again. You know, and you know, everybody was jumping up and down at the start of the season because we didn't get Buendia. Well, I tell you what now, given the choice between Smith Rowe and Buendia, I know who I'd rather have. You know?
Yeah.
No, we're underrated, you know.
I tell you, the teams that are in and around fourth spot, United, West Ham, Spurs, and Wolves, let's say, I'd fancy our chances. To be honest, I think I'd fancy us over them. You know, United are struggling under Rannick. You know, they're 1-0 up tonight, but
Brighton had Lewis Dunk sent off.
They're struggling, United. They're not scoring for fun anymore. It's 1-0s or 1-1s or nil. You know, they are. I don't think they trust in what. I know he's only there till the end of the season, but I think we do stand a good chance. You know,
but they're playing against 10 tonight.
And they're struggling.
Lewis Dunk was sent off because he turned up in the Planet Jacket costume.
Oh God! Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
Just to mention, like, we're obviously in the riverbar for the game, so anybody who's not going over for London to watch it there, watch it in the riverbar. So we're downstairs for the first time again after the long spell of COVID, so it should be a good game. What time is your flight, John?
I had a disaster. I'm flying to Birmingham. I have to get the train down.
Okay.
So right. My flight is at 6:15.
Yeah, you're on that early flight to Birmingham. That's not a bad train journey. You've done it.
No, it's not. No. Yeah. I didn't care once I got there, Eamonn.
We'll see it on the Blackstock Road, so.
Yeah, for the kebab.
Yeah. For the kebab and an old swing of an old machete before the game.
Just to mention that the Brentford game isn't on TV, so if you're not lucky enough to be there, like Eamonn and Johnny, you can catch it on BBC Match of the Day at 10:30. But if you know the result already, you might save yourself from watching it. Either way, we'll all be drunk, Henry.
If anybody's watching this, just to let them know, like, the Blackstock Road is the road for the pubs. Eamonn's pub is the King's Head, which we go to, and great pub, great people, proper Arsenal, proper Arsenal people. And then across the road, you got the Arsenal Tavern, which is absolutely bouncing now on match days. Yeah. You've got the music, DJ, everything. But the funny thing is, they're probably 20 yards away from each other, Eamonn.
Yeah.
And on a Sunday, one opens at 11 and one opens at 12.
Yeah, they're in different boroughs.
They're different boroughs, yeah.
Crazy.
But good. It's good to see the fans enjoying it. It's good to see the pubs back open. And it is a good. It's a great day. It's part of our life now.
It's great for the fabric of the game.
Win, lose or draw.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's alcohol, everything will be okay.
46% cocaine uptakes in the last year.
and that's only
an M5.
This is a family show, Martin.
And that's only on the last few performances alone. What did we make? Yeah. What did we make for our place? 90%. That's only Saka getting the card.
There's also a 900% rise on defibrillators as well, which you'll now find that the Arsenal Supporters Club will be selling every time there's a match on.
I hope
we should get sponsored by Order of Malta or something.
Yeah. I hope they have an Ericsson charger in the stadium.
Hold on.
Yeah, I hope Ericsson doesn't do anything to us being an export. No, look, I just think, aside from being a sports player, it's great. It would be great to see him back on a football pitch. It really is.
The best Ericsson joke, though, and it wasn't a joke against him. It was actually very humorous. Remember that one that did the rounds during the summer? They said, "Fair play to Harry Kane for going to visit Ericsson." He said he's sitting up, he's alert, and he's after slinging a few words together, and that was Ericsson that said that.
best of luck to Ericsson if he does come on. Look, amazing turnaround in 8 months. You know, from literally a life death experience. Hopefully Brentford don't go down. He gets a heart attack after that. No, look, it's great to see. Look, not many players do come back from a serious thing like that. So look, hats off. He's got himself fit again, and look, you can only wish him the best for the rest of his career. I'd like to thank my guests tonight, Eamonn, Johnny, and Martin. Thanks for your company tonight.
Well, you see, you didn't have Eamonn, Johnny, and Martin. You had Eamonn. You had the other Eamonn. You had Ken Barlow.
And you had and who was Deirdre and all this. So frustrating.
So frustrating.
I think it sounds better in the Austrian accent than it is in names. I just like competition time. The best impersonation wins an Arsenal GOONER podcast calendar.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, Man United have won 2-0.
Oh my God. The night is ruined. Right. I'm off to get pissed. So you can catch all our episodes on Spotify, SoundCloud, and on the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club YouTube channel. Until next Tuesday, have a good week and thanks for listening. Cheers, lads.
See you. Take care.
See you later.
See you later.
Thanks for taking part.